guys, welcome to my channel. I hope you all are doing well. So few videos back where I share Raj got perfect score in SAT, many of you wants to know how he got it. So this is actually the second time we are filming this video because last time when we did it, audio wasn't clear and he was in front of camera either. So if you follow me for some time, you guys know that I have never had my kids or the husband in my videos. But with your request, this time Raj decided to be front of camera, share all the things that he knows. So you guys know him by his name, but never seen him. So that's my older son, Raj.
All right, hi everyone.
So the first thing first, I'm gonna start with the things that I did it when they were young. So when Raj and Aryan were young, I exposed to them as many activities as I can. And when Raj was with my mom for about a couple of years, mom was also fond of books. So she had so many books for him. And that was their ritual in the morning. Like every single morning, they'll sit down, read all the books, and by mistake if mom flipped the page, Raj will go back and it's like, no, you missed something, so he's fond of books ever since he was very young. So that's what I did. And if you expose to them as many activities as you can, by that way you will come to know what they like and they don't like, and then let them decide what they want to do. So when Raj was in elementary school, in the third grade, he joined the robotics and he continued that all the way to the middle school. Now, all schools are different, but also when he was in elementary school, they had the spelling bee. Now, they started that spelling bee when he was in the fifth grade. So spelling bee is basically they start between third, fourth, and fifth grade. So let's say third grade has a 4 classes, fourth grade has a 4 classes, as well as the fifth grade. So first of all, they have the spelling bee between the third grade, fourth grade, and fifth grade, like all those 4 classes. Out of those 4 classes, one kid won. So that way they had the third, fourth, and the fifth. Like they had each kid from each grade. So Raj was from the fifth grade, Aryan was from fourth grade, and there was another girl from the third grade. So that way they have all three finalists, and then again they have the spelling bee between those 3 kids. So out of those 3 kids, Raj won the spelling bee from the school, Aryan was the second, and the girl was the third one. So when he won from the school, now he has to compete in the county level. So that's what he did. So third grade, elementary school, like I say, was like basically let them decide what they want to do. So he had the robotics as well as he did the spelling bee, and there was a few other clubs that he joined too. Now I'm gonna let him talk what he did in the middle school.
All right, so for middle school, I just did a couple clubs. In middle school, they have a lot more clubs than what you would find in elementary school, so you can explore your interests a lot more. I continued robotics, like she said, in middle school, and I did a few other clubs, including debate, Model UN, and then there was another club called Battle of the Books.
Okay, so that's basically what he did as extra activities. Now let's start with the academic wise, what he did in the middle school.
All right, so in middle school, they don't give you much options either. You have to take a math class, science, history, language arts. You don't really get to choose that if you're an advanced kid or a regular kid. You all are in the same classes.
Yeah.
So I still had to take, just basic science classes and math, classes as well. However, I tried to go outside of school, and during the summer, I tried to go ahead and learn my classes ahead of time. So I was advanced in that way. And then for math specifically, this was the only one they allowed us to do like an advanced math. So in sixth grade, we had to take this test to determine if we were able to be like an advanced student. And I ended up passing the test. So I was a double advanced student. So if I was in sixth grade, I was taking what eighth graders were taking. Seventh grade, I was taking what high school freshmen would take or ninth graders would take. So that's how I would do that for middle school. But for the rest of the classes, they didn't allow us to take any other advanced classes. So I just tried to make best with what I could do.
So just for the disclaimer, guys, I just want to let you know that we haven't done any classes or the private tuition for both of my boys, like Kumon, because over here in US, Kumon is very famous, especially among the Asian people. We never had that, or we never had someone coming to our house giving them tuition. This is pure their hard work. And I did my work when they were in elementary school. So that time I was top of, like, when the homework is done, when the exam is coming, what are the extra activities we are doing, and all that stuff. So you want to make sure that time that their foundation is strong, their base is strong, because when they were in middle school, I kind of eased them out. I was still watching over them, but I was not as kind of active when they were in elementary school. So you want to ease them out. You want to let them be independent. So that's what I did. And like I say, let them enjoy the activities. Don't pressurize them. Yes, you do want to expose to them as many activities as you can, but don't pressurize them, because those years, once it's gone, it's gone. So even if you sense it that some of the activities they are doing, they are not enjoying it, let them just decide and not force them to do it. Okay, so now we are done with elementary school and middle school. Let's start with the high school. So high school, first we'll start with the PSAT and SAT. So you want to take over now?
All right. So for the PSAT, it differentiates between, which school you're from. So for my school, when I took the PSAT, they only offered it to 10th and 11th graders. Some schools offer it to ninth graders, and if you have that opportunity, make sure to take advantage of that. However, for 10th and 11th graders, it's normally required to take it from at least my school. So in 10th grade, I took the PSAT. This PSAT is just to show where you stand, and it's not meant to be taken as seriously as the 11th grade PSAT. So I did study over the summer before the 10th grade PSAT, and I did score well, but I did not score as well as I could have. However, I did not put much stress on it since it's only your 10th grade PSAT. And then in 11th grade, I put a lot more effort into that. I studied the summer before, and during that time, I also finished the SAT, and the SAT is basically a more complex version of the PSAT. Since the PSAT, you take it before you take the SAT. So since I took the SAT before the PSAT, that was a huge advantage since I didn't need to study as much, but I was already way ahead of the students that were studying for it. So when I took the PSAT, I scored a very high score. So in PSAT for junior year, you can qualify for scholarships, and they call it a National Merit Scholar program. So it all depends on your state and your score. So in each state, the top 1% are granted that name, National Merit Scholar, and through applications, you can get scholarships for colleges from companies, and it's a great opportunity to save money as well.
Yeah.
So although I haven't finished the application yet since it hasn't came out, I have been distinguished as a National Merit Scholar.
So I know someone asked me that when the kid can start the PSAT and SAT preparation. So as Raj say, they can start it when they are in ninth grade or the summer before the ninth grade. And PSAT is given to them by their school. Now SAT, you had to prepare it by yourself. So in Raj's case, we took the classes. Now in your area, you can find out who's offering the SAT classes. Now, when you go there, they take first the diagnosis test. They see where the kids stand, and based on that, they teach them. So for that, we did it with Raj. It's a few weeks long class, and after that, you have to register with the college board, and you decide the date when you want to take that exam. So Raj took once. He scored it very well, and you can take the SAT as many times as you want it actually. But then the college, when they apply for the university, they don't like it if you have take more than 2-3 times. So in our case, Raj took it once and he scored it very well. So that's what we did as far as the classes. But then there were a few other things that Raj was doing it while he was at home. So I'm gonna let Raj talk about it, what he did.
All right. So apart from the class that I took, I also used Khan Academy. Khan Academy is a website where they would give you free educational tools for not just SAT, they can give it to you for any subject. They go from kindergarten all the way to, I've seen that they also give prep for medical school, so they give a lot of stuff. and they've actually partnered with College Board, which is the organization that runs the SAT. So they give a bunch of practice problems. They give you practice tests that you can diagnose yourself, um, and they give you certain topics as well for each category, so that you know exactly where your where your weaknesses are, where your strengths are, so you can play to your weaknesses. So that was a great tool also. And I just want to give a quick disclaimer that you don't need classes to get a high score. It certainly did help that having a professional, but there are so many books and so many other tools that you can use online that will help you get the score that you want. So, for example, Khan Academy was a great tool. Um, for math, I know I'll give you the link for the book,
Yeah.
but it's called the College Panda Math Book, and they basically give you a bunch of math problems for every topic you'll see on the SAT. So once you finish that book, there's no way that you're not going to get a really high score on the math since you've done so much practice. There are a few other books as well, but those are the two main sources I used. And yeah, so for sure you don't need any classes if you don't have the resources for that. That's perfectly fine.
And by the way, guys, Raj and Aryan, they both have their own YouTube channel, which I'm going to link it down below in the description box. So over there also, they share so many information. They go more in the depth. So I'm going to link that video or their channel down below in the description box. Because over here on my channel, since I talk about them all the time, and of course you guys wants to know, so that's why, I want to share all the information, whatever we can. But of course, if you want to know more in detail, you can go to their channel too.
Yeah, and we have a bunch of tips on specific
Yeah.
categories in the SAT as well, that we have uploaded and will upload more soon.
Yeah.
So yeah, we can definitely go more on that.
So we are done with the PSAT and SAT section. If you still have a more question about it, leave the comment below and we'll make sure that we answer that. So now we're gonna cover what are the classes he took it in high school, as well as we're gonna talk about that governor school, the classes which he's taking at the university. We'll talk about all that too. So
All right.
go for it.
So for ninth and 10th grade, for ninth grade, I just took, for at least our school, they don't offer any AP classes. So I took as many advanced classes as they could. So I took, um, as I said, for middle school, I took double extended classes for math. So I took Algebra 2 in ninth grade, which is normally an 11th grade math class. I did take biology, I took my regular English and history, but all of these were pre-AP, which are just basically advanced classes. I also did dabble in computer science a bit. In ninth and 10th grade, I took AP computer science in 10th grade. And in 10th grade, I continued that route. I took a lot more AP classes, try to explore my interests a bit, especially in math and science. For us, they required us to take 4 years of history and English, so I couldn't get past that. But as much as I could, I tried to take as many STEM or science and math classes as possible. Now, for governor's school, this is only a 11th and 12th grade program. We had to apply in 10th grade, and I'm not going to talk about all the aspects of the governor's school and how, what application, but basically for the application, we had to take a timed essay and we had to complete a variety of essays as well relating to our scientific interests. We also talked about our awards, our extracurriculars, what we did outside of school basically that showed that we're passionate about science.
So basically, the application process is just like when you are applying to the university. When they go to there, you have to show like your, the extra activities that you have done it, extra science, like science fair, if you have done anything, those things. Also, your GPA comes in, also the teacher recommendation, all those things, just like you apply at the university and the things that they ask for it, same thing over here too. So they have 4 different categories. You pick which one you wanted. Based on that, they see your application. Also, like Rod mentioned, Once you do the application, then there is a one exam that you had to take it. I believe that is the math one, right?
Yeah.
So once you take that, once you pass that, then the second exam is, as he said, the time-based essay. When you go there, you don't even know what topics you will be given. So you have to be ready for basically everything. And they give you 1 hour. Within a 1 hour, you have to write the essay. Once you submit that, then they see your application. And based on that, then they say whether yes or no. So out of his school, they have like more than 3,000 kids, I would say, or 3,000 almost.
Yeah.
Based on that, only 1% of the kid got admission, and out of those kids, only 4 kids got into this program. Raj is one of them. So the program basically, like I say, it's called Governor's School, and it's not offered by all the states. So you just have to check with your county and see if they have something like that. So that is the application process. Now let's start, Raj. What you did, what you do in that the university, and what are the advantage of it?
Yeah, so the whole point of governor's school is that it's connected with a local university. So essentially, I'm going to be going to that university every single day, and I'll be taking college classes with college professors. So that'll be like intro level chemistry classes, math classes, in a college, and I'm going to be taking that as a high schooler. So definitely that's a good advantage, and it shows colleges that you're ready to take college classes, especially if you've already handled work from a college professor. And another benefit of being in the governor's school program is that all the classes that I'm taking there, they automatically go on my local university's transcript, so I can submit that transcript to any college I'm applying to when I apply to college, and all of those credits and all those classes will be credited towards whichever college I go to in the future. So in college, you have a certain amount of credits that you have to finish, and this is basically giving me an advantage. So I can finish a lot of credits before I even go to college. So that might also shorten how much time I'm in college as well.
So basically, he's doing the double work right now. He's being in a high school doing that work, as well as he's doing the college work too. So most of the time he's going to this university. So last year, obviously, the things were different. He was doing everything virtual. Now from this year, first he will go to his school. The bus will take him from his school to this university. Once he's done there, then he'll be back to his high school. He has a one class to take it over here. I believe it's a history class, right?
History, and I have to take just English as well.
Yeah, so 2 classes he will take it over here, and then he's done with the high school. So basically, like I say, he's doing double work right now. Okay, so that's what he did academic wise in a high school. Now let's talk about the extra activities and all that.
Okay. So for ninth grade, I tried to go to as many clubs as possible since, especially from middle school to going to high school, the jump between elementary and middle school wasn't that great. There were just a few more clubs. However, from middle school to high school, there are dozens of clubs that I can join, and that could peak to any of my interests. So, and if it doesn't, I can always create a club as well, which I'll talk about more later. So in ninth grade, I just explored as many clubs as I could. I've always been passionate about medicine, so they had a medical club. I joined that. There was a few honor societies, which were science and math related. I joined those. There was also a Model UN, which is basically we're mimicking the actual United Nations. So we participate and debate about different world situations going on right now. So I joined that, and I joined a few other clubs as well. But then in 10th grade, I started to go a bit more specific into my interests. So I continued medical club. I also did science fair for both ninth and 10th grade. So I would just do a research project and present that at the school level, regional level, and even state level as well. However, in 11th grade, I did a lot more since this is the most important year that colleges look at. So I tried to hone in on all the activities I was doing. I made sure that I was trying to apply for lead positions in whatever clubs I was doing. I also worked extremely hard on my research projects and made sure that they were the best I could do as well for that. I studied for various competitions as well, relating to both science competitions, so biology, chemistry competitions, as well as medical-based competitions. So the book that she was talking about, I did a competition regarding a bunch of diseases. It was a long, tedious process. I studied thousands and thousands of diseases, and I basically had to memorize all those diseases, understand how the body works as well, which is pretty hard considering I didn't have any kind of class for that as well. So that was a considerable amount of time as well, but I did perform well in that competition as well. So 11th grade, I did a lot. I made sure that my application was as good as possible by participating in various competitions and doing as many activities as I possibly could while balancing my schoolwork.
Okay, so now let's talk about the internship which he did just a few months back, because I know many of you also had a question about it. Now, that is in our state. So every state is different, but the procedure to get in is the same as they are getting the admission in university. So you have to have the science project, research paper, teacher recommendation, the GPA has to be high, so they see all that stuff, and then based on that you get the admission. So I'm gonna let Raj talk about it more.
All right. So yeah, like she said, it's specific to our state. So around every year, around 100 students get accepted. Fortunately, I was able to be accepted into this program this year, and they have basically several paths that you can take for this month-long program. For me, I took a more medicine approach, so I was enrolled in a medicine class with a professor, and we went through a variety of dissections. We learned about the physiology of, the human body, how it all works. We went through several projects as well. And the main project that we did throughout this program was that we dissected the entirety of a fetal pig, which is like a baby pig. Yeah, so the one I did was a medicine approach. It was anatomy and physiology.
Okay.
That I took. Like she said, we basically took classes, or we did our projects in the morning. We ate breakfast before that, and we ate lunch after that. So it was kind of ruining my appetite for lunch. I didn't really eat much. Yeah, no, it was a good experience. I got to meet a lot of other people because.
Also, you guys went and see the dead body too.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so
Don't forget that.
I'll explain that. Yeah. So basically, in the university, there was a graduate building where medical school students and residency students would do their projects as well. And in that building, we kind of took a field trip. So in that building, there was around 7 to 8 cadavers, which are basically dead bodies that are donated to science. And they're real bodies, they're not just models. So they're actual real people. They covered up their faces though, but we got to see all their muscles. We got to hold their organs like their heart and lungs. And we kind of understood like how they died and how like their body shows how they died as well. Some people had knee replacements, so you can see the actual metal implant in their knee. It was really cool. Good experience as well.
So I think we covered everything, but if you still have any more questions, leave the comments below and we'll definitely answer it. Also, like I mentioned, they do have the channel, so you can go on their channel because they do have a very detailed videos. But Raj, do you have any kind of final thoughts or any tips if someone is just gonna start 9th grade?
Yeah, so I'll give a few tips on, what you need to do step by step, and also just overall tips. So first thing, make sure that your grades don't slip up. No matter how many clubs and activities you do, you want to make sure that your grades are relatively high as well. Um, and another tip I have is to enjoy the process while you're doing it.
Yes.
You can obviously push yourself, and I did make sure that I was trying to you know, reach new heights every time I would explore another opportunity. But just make sure that while you're doing this, have time for rest. Talk with your family, talk with your friends. Enjoy activities you love as well that may not be, related to, your major or your sciences and math. If it's just playing outside with your friends, do that.
Yeah.
That's perfectly fine. And then now for more specific tips for each grade level. For 9th grade, just make sure, keep your grades up, and also make sure you explore all the opportunities you have within your high school. Your high school is going to give you so many clubs and activities that you're not going to have in middle school and elementary school. And that's the perfect time for you to explore your interests and, find out what you want to do in life and in college as well. Same thing for 10th grade, but just make sure that you start to specify on which clubs you want to spend your most time on. You don't want to spend a little amount of time on every club, but try to hone in on a few clubs that you can do, that you can start to get a few positions for. It doesn't have to be like a president or a vice president. It could even just be a secretary or treasurer. But just getting your name out there and socializing and making your name within your community, that's also very important. And then 11th grade is the most important year, obviously. That's mainly when everyone takes the SAT. PSAT matters most during this year as well. Um, and your extracurriculars matter the most as well. So you're gonna have to do a lot of work in 11th grade, but just make sure, like I said, keep your mental health, high. Make sure you are also enjoying the process as well.
Yes.
And make sure also you take, advantage of opportunities that you see your friends doing as well, or you see other people doing. Because like I know, like I did a few clubs, but a lot of the stuff I did, I found outside of school just through research, just through networking with other professionals. That's how I even found governor's school and summer governor's school, by talking to seniors in high school and asking them that what they did. So make sure you take advantage of your opportunities as well.
And he said it's so right that your mental health is so important. Yes, you want to achieve everything what you can achieve, but mental health is so important. And that's what we do, as a family. At the end of the night, we sit together, we talk, and I'm actually more friend to them than as a mom. I talk to them about all the things that you can think of, and we never had that kind of relation, like, okay, I'm your mom, you shouldn't talk to me like this, or we cannot talk about on this topic. We never had that relation. We have such a like friendly relation that we talk about everything. And that's how it should be, especially once they are in middle school, high school. Just be friend with them, let them enjoy whatever the things they like to do it, let them do it. Of course, you are a parent, you're supposed to be guiding them, you show them the right way. But once, like I say, your foundation, you work on their foundation, the base is really strong. You don't have to worry about it at all, especially here in US. I know, as our parents, we worried so much about our kids. But in my case, guys, what I have done it, and you see this result, right? I mean, you see what he has achieved so far. This is it. This is my life. What I have done it. It shows that what I have done it with them. So when they are that young, just focus on their foundation, and that's about it. Then you don't need to worry about anything at all. So I hope this video is helpful to you guys. Like I say, if you still have any more questions or anything, leave the comments below. And I know this video is gonna be really long, but we do want to cover as much as we can. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Take care, and I will see you soon in my next video. Bye. Hey guys, so this video is very, very special and precious to me because Raj is with me. And I'm actually so glad that last video when we did it, it didn't work out because the audio wasn't clear. Now in that video, many of you commented like you can hear Raj's voice, but his face is not there. So you can't make that connection, and I totally understand that. But guys, you haven't seen my family. It's because it's their choice. It's not like it's my choice. It's their choice. And I totally respect that. If they don't want to be in front of camera, I'm not just gonna drag them here. And like I mentioned in my other video, if I had the young kids, things would be different because they'll be always around me. But I have two teenagers. Now Raj is working on his college application. Aryan is right behind him. So their schedule is so busy. So for that reason, you guys haven't seen them in my videos, but after reading your comments in that video, Raj decided to be in this video. So I'm so glad that we shared the screen in this video. And like I say, this video will be always, always special to me. And don't take this video like I'm bragging about them, or I'm just putting the information out there. Whatever the things that we have did it, what works for us, I just want to share this information so it can helpful to someone. But by no any mean that I'm bragging about that, all that. And all kids are different. All kids are different. They are so special. So please don't take it that way. I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. Again, Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon.